What's up, guys? Welcome back into the Millennial Profit. My name's Adam and I'm a full-time reseller. If you're new here, I show you all different kinds of ways to make money. So if you like money, hit that subscribe button. Today I'm headed out to my buddy Austin's house. You've probably seen him in a couple of my sourcing videos. He is a big time shoe reseller, so he stashes a lot of Yeezys and higher end shoes and holds on to them for a couple months and then resells them for way more than what he bought them for. So I'm gonna make a video today basically for beginners on that. I'm actually trying to get in the game myself. I took a little video I'll roll here while I'm talking where I show all of my Yeezys that I have so far. I got like 4 in, so collecting the Mono Ice, Mono Cinder, and Mono Mist, and I have like 7 to 10 on the way. So just stashing these for like a year. Listening to Austin, he's been in this shoe game for a long time. I'll let him tell you all about that. But I'm just trying to get in the game myself, so today I'm trying to learn more too. But I've got some questions for him and everything, and we're gonna try to figure out if you've got some capital or whatever and you want to get in the shoe investing game and the shoe flipping game, this is the video for you. So I've got about an hour drive. He lives about an hour away, so once we get there, we'll get into it. We are here. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize he had this many pairs. And that's not it. He's got this closet full of Yeezys. And he's got even more over here. And that's still not it. Let's take you over to closet number 2. Wow. Alright, so we're sitting down with Austin and I'm going to interview him today to try and figure out how he got into all this and explain to you guys how you can get into this if you want to. So how did you get into shoes?
So I've always liked shoes, but my friend Alex really got me into the game. He took us to a sneaker convention back in like 2010, 2012. And ever since then I've been a collector, a reseller, a sneakerhead if you will, and the rest is history.
What are your favorite apps or websites, or where do you go to cop new shoes?
Okay, so the biggest thing about getting shoes for retail is being patient and persistent. So whenever shoes come out on release day, I like to get in as many raffles as possible. If you can download Foot Locker, Finish Line, City Gear, Hibbets, Champs, all these foot sites have apps that they do raffles. If you can enter those raffles, you can actually earn head starts with as much money as you spend in the store. So enter raffles at the stores near you. You can add head starts, give yourself a better chance to win those raffles. So once you win the raffle, you still have to buy the shoes, obviously, but you're getting them for retail, you're getting them at a better price. So that's obviously the best way. There's some times where you're gonna have to pay resale for shoes. And in that case, you might use the GOAT app, you might use StockX, you might use SneakerCon. There are a lot of sneaker pages that you can be a part of that you can find decent deals on to avoid those seller fees that you might run into with apps like GOAT and StockX. I'm a part of an Ohio Sneakerhead page that I've made a lot of good connections with. I've actually spent a lot of money between me and several other people. There's a guy that lives in Indiana that I've probably bought 40 pairs from in the past year. So you can develop really good connections like that. The game's changed a lot though. So a few years ago, these apps and raffles were unheard of. Used to, you would go wait in line outside of a brick and mortar store for as long as it took to get a pair of shoes for retail. And that was really important to a lot of people. So that's how the sneaker culture really developed back in the day. You'd go to these releases in big cities and you'd see the same people over and over and over again. So you make friends that way, but you can also develop really good connections. So you might miss out on a release and somebody that you met at the release before might be able to hook you up. So getting shoes at retail though, really important. If you can get into the raffles, if you can get online on the foot sites too whenever they release, most shoes release Saturdays 10 a.m. They release multiple different days, but Saturdays 10 a.m. most of the time. If you can get on before, maybe half an hour before release date, sit on the website, be patient, be persistent. The websites have glitches, they don't have really good crowd control, they always crash, and you're fighting against a lot of bots. If you can get shoes for retail though, that's obviously the way to go.
Is there money not getting these at retail, getting them at third-party sites like eBay, GOAT, StockX?
Absolutely. So it's really hard to study the market to see what pairs are going to do after the release. Some pairs might spike really hard as soon as they release, like these chunky dunks, for example. The day that they released, they were like 1,500 to 2,000, and now they've kind of settled down. So you're going to have releases like that, but you're also going to have ones that as soon as people get the pairs in hand, they're flooding those apps with all the dead stock pairs. So if a pair of Yeezy 350s like these come out, maybe not like those, but maybe like these come out, they'll hit the market at a lower price than what they're going to mature at. For example, the Cinder 350s, I don't have any of them out here, but the Cinder 350s released last year. I didn't get one single pair of those for retail. I knew that it was a good colorway. It was a mostly black colorway, and we hadn't had a 350 release like that in a while. So I got on all the apps. I got on Sneakerhead, I got on GOAT, I got on StockX, looked on eBay. I actually did buy a couple pairs on eBay too. And I bought as many pairs in bay sizes, so smaller sizes, maybe like 4 to 7, as I could for less than $300. I think I ended up buying about 12 pairs for less than $300, and every single one of those pairs is close to 500, if not over 500 now. So it's been a little bit of time since those pairs have gotten to that maturity, but definitely worth it, especially if you have a decent amount of inventory. You're only turning over so much of your inventory at certain times. There's definitely money to be made with the third-party sellers as well.
Do you go to any shoe conventions, and if so, which ones?
Yeah, so shoe conventions are the bread and butter, honestly. It's like a completely different world. Where you walk into a shoe convention, it's kind of mind-blowing how many vendors are there, how many buyers, how many sellers, and different age groups too. Like the sneaker culture is so diverse, it's incredible. You'll see people that super young, like 7, 8 years old, walking around with shoes that they're trying to trade, buy, sell. And then you'll see old sneakerheads that are wearing like the OG retros, and they might be like 60 years old. A lot of local sneaker shows, yes, they're not as great. You're not gonna have a lot of potential with making a lot of sales at those shows, but they're still good. I started going to shows probably closer to 2010, 2012. Like I said, my friend Alex took me to my first one. One of the first shows that I went to was in Columbus. It was a smaller show. Don't make a lot of sales or buy a lot of shoes there, but kind of got a feel for it. The first bigger show that I went to was Sneaker Freaks in Columbus, and that's whenever I started vending. So the difference between my vendor tables then and now is pretty sweet to look at. So yeah, Sneaker Freaks was a really good show in Columbus. 2 years ago was the first time that I went to SneakerCon. My work schedule is really tight, so I don't have a lot of time to go to these shows, but SneakerCon was super successful for me. I got one table at SneakerCon. The tables are kind of expensive. It's like $200 to $250 for a table. But I sold 50 pairs at that show, and that was about 14,000 in sales, a little over 14,000 in sales. So that was a good day. Sneaker conventions, obviously, if you're buying or selling, you're avoiding the fees, the shipping. You're getting cash in hand. So that's obviously the better way to go if you're trying to maximize your profit. And I always enjoy the shows just because you get to see all kinds of different pairs. You get to see your friends that you haven't seen from all the raffles the way that they used to be, and the culture is amazing.
What kind of shoes are the best cooks for you?
My bread and butter is probably Jordan 1s and Yeezy 350s. As you can see, all these boxes over here, Jordan 1 boxes, and then most of these are Yeezy 350s. So my reasoning for buying those shoes is not only because I like them. I mean, 1s are my favorite shoe, but there's always good value in them. I can't think of an OG 1 that hasn't gone up incredibly in value within the last, I don't know how many years. There's the spin-offs like the KOs and the mids and stuff. They don't have as great a value, but 1s are always really reliable. Same with the Yeezy 350s. They might have a slow start, like the Butters a couple years ago. They were sitting less than 300 for the longest time, and now they've climbed. So people are always going to be looking for a fresh pair of Yeezy 350s. So if you can keep those on ice and flip them later on, most of the time that's the way to go. But both of those shoes are probably my best cooks.
So if I'm a newbie and I want to start in the shoe game, how would I go about that?
So someone who doesn't know anything about shoes can definitely get involved and make money, or even become a collector themselves. I would highly recommend downloading as many apps and learning about the upcoming releases and the past releases as you can. You can follow sneaker pages on Instagram, you can follow sneaker pages on Twitter, Facebook. Try and develop connections with people that know about releases and values of shoes and the stock levels. Whenever it comes down to it, shoes are really supply and demand. Like, there's awesome colorways and collaborations and whatnot, but it's supply and demand. So if you can download GOAT, look at the calendar on GOAT, you can see the upcoming releases, you can see what shoes are reselling for right now. Same with StockX, you can see the values of shoes, streetwear. SneakerCon, good app to buy and sell from. Download the Sneakers app. Anything big that's going to release from Nike is going to be on the Sneakers app. All the exclusive stuff will be on the Sneakers app. Download all the Footsight apps. You can download Finish Line, Champs, Foot Locker, City Gear, Hibbets. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but any foot site, JD Sports, any of those foot sites, they're gonna do the raffles that you can enter and you can earn head starts. That's the best way to get the shoes for retail, like we talked about before, but it's also the best way to stay up to date and learn about the releases and give yourself the best chance to start an inventory and get shoes that have the potential to be resold.
Do you have any tips or tricks on what kind of sizes to look for in the shoe game?
Yeah, so, and that's a cool thing to talk about too, because with the way that the game has changed, sizes definitely matter now. Used to, you could go to a sneaker show and any shoe across the board was like the same price. Like if a retro Jordan came out, it was $250 across the board. So like retail was $160, $250 across the board. Everybody local selling for the same price for the most part, and that was just the going rate for everything. But now, since these apps have came out, everybody has something to refer to, and obviously the stock levels for these different sizes are different. There may be some releases where base sizes, whenever I say base sizes, I'm talking about the smaller sizes, like grade school, the sizes that girls are gonna wear, the sizes that kids are gonna wear. A lot of the times those base sizes, especially in Yeezys, are more limited. They don't run as many pairs of those. They might only release them on certain sites. They might release a certain amount of base sizes on Yeezy Supply and then none on Adidas, or all on Adidas and none on Yeezy Supply. So the smaller sizes in shoes like Yeezys are normally a good cop. But I'll also say that it's a little bit different for Jordans. Jordan 1s for the longest time, if you snag size 8 to 9, those were the money sizes. There's been some releases here lately where it flip-flops, like the pine green ones, the bigger sizes ended up taking off. It just all matters about stock levels, but I will say safe bet with Yeezys, any 350, any size, 4 to 13 you're gonna make money on. But if you can cop the base sizes, 4 to 7, you're gonna make more money. Jordan 1s, any Jordan size, 8 to 13 you're gonna make money on. There might be the weird size 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 11 and a half, or sometimes money sizes. They don't make a lot of those sizes. So definitely study the stock levels. If you can get a part of Discords, there might be a little bit of inside information. You might find somebody who works at stores and says, hey, we got a size run, but we only got 10 to 12. So then obviously you're looking for that size 8 to 9 on the apps or on the foot sites whenever they drop. So just try and stay up to date, but when in doubt, cop the sizes that you know. So also, Adam is going to be starting a Discord group. It's going to be a Discord mentor group. Shoes are going to be a part of that. So I'm going to try and help out as much as I can with releases and some information just on shoes in general. So hopefully we can all eat together in the shoe game. If you don't know anything about the shoe game, don't be afraid of it. Let's get started and let's all make money together.
Austin just went downstairs. I just bought all these shoes from Austin. No, I didn't. But I'm going to be at the shoe convention with him. What's it called?
Sneaker Freaks.
I'm going to be at Sneaker Freaks with him in August and film a part 2 to this video. So I'm pretty excited. I've never been to a shoe convention before. I learned a lot today and I hope you did too. If you've got any questions, leave them down below. Austin's going to try his best to answer them. And we might answer them in the part 2 video as well. So that'll do it for this video. If you're not already following me on Instagram, you can do so down below at millennial_profit. You can follow Austin down below on Instagram at Blanton Austin. For this video, that'll do it. There's money to be made everywhere, guys. Let's go get it. Thank you for watching The Millennial Prophet. You can follow Austin down below on Instagram as well at Blanton Austin. That's the I took a weird. You can follow Austin down below.
Way better to be on this side of the camera, dude. This is great.